Hello, and thanks for joining us on Encore. Coming up today, a roundup of the latest news from the world of cinema. The Syrian actor who changed his name and his country to forge a career in film, Abdo, sits down with France 24. Teenage cannibals and the zombie apocalypse. We check out the best of sci-fi and horror releases at the Gérardmer Festival in the east of France. And we pay tribute to a star and a pioneer of French new wave cinema. Actress Emmanuelle Riva has died after almost 6 decades of critically acclaimed performances. He's been called the Syrian Kevin Spacey. Abdo was something of a superstar in the Middle East, but after fleeing Bashar al-Assad's regime in 2011, the Syrian actor took refuge in the US and at times even had to earn his living as a pizza delivery man. But in the space of just 3 years, he managed to find success and is now starring alongside Nicole Kidman in a new film, Queen of the Desert. France 24 reporters Valérie Defer and Naibi Reynoso met Abdo in Los Angeles to hear about his journey from Damascus to Hollywood.
Part of Abdo's morning routine is jogging a few kilometers on the streets of Los Angeles.
All that helped me getting rid of the stressful and negative energy I had every day from the nightmares, the news coming from home, from Syria, my friends, my family.
6 years ago, fled his native country of Syria after looming threats by Bashar al-Assad's regime.
I wasn't safe in Syria because they started to corner me and pressure me.
In the Middle East, he's far from unknown. His real name is Jihad Abdo, and he is one of the most famous actors of the region. Has appeared in 43 feature films and was a lead actor in a very successful soap opera called Bab al-Hara. But he decided to leave behind all his fame and fortune at the beginning of the uprising in Syria and joined his wife, Fadia, who was studying in the US.
I told him, please bring 2 things with you, our wedding pictures and our violin.
Arrived into the U.S. as a refugee, a status which has now come under scrutiny since President Donald Trump's recent ban on Syrian refugees from entering the U.S.
So the situation already is really hard. Now it's getting harder and scarier. It's sad, it's reality.
But we are still optimistic.
As usual.
I am optimistic.
When he got to the U.S., went from audition to audition with no success. To survive, he eventually became a pizza delivery guy and an Uber driver. To make it in Hollywood, he also felt he had to change his name from Jihad to J.
It's hard because Jay is so experienced. He's such a great actor to have to, start out at the bottom rung again and work his way up.
German director Werner Herzog gave Jay his first big break in Hollywood, a major role in the movie Queen of the Desert, starring Australian actress Nicole Kidman.
I shall follow the lady to the end of the world.
She gave me a lot of support and empathy all the time. I can't forget her.
He then worked with Tom Hanks in the feature film A Hologram for a King.
I have this feeling that destiny took me and brought me here, and now I feel home. Harrison Ford, Kevin Costner.
Now feels he can reach for the stars.
Anthony Hopkins.
Because he knows that in Hollywood, there is always a happy ending.
We're headed now to the east of France, to the Vosges, where the Gérardmer International Sci-Fi Film Festival has just wrapped up. 5 days, 50 films from all over the world, and more than a couple of references to the zombie apocalypse. Renaud Lefort and Simon Harding, check it out.
We all enjoy, shall we say, putting our toe in the cold water of fear.
If, like Hitchcock, being thrilled is a hobby, then your next trip should be to the town of Gérardmer in the east of France. Thousands of people gather there every year to watch all kinds of horror and fantasy motion pictures.
What are you doing down there, Daddy?
Come downstairs. I want to see my #1 birthday boy.
People who come here are film enthusiasts. We don't just watch horror films with chainsaws or zombies, we watch everything.
So we're just going to wade in again then?
Well, if I can help it.
It's above all the chance to discover films that will never make it into cinemas.
What I really appreciate is the atmosphere.
On the banks of this lake, the ambience was particularly chilly. Competing against each other are films from the four corners of the world, even though the horror genre is dominated by Asia and the United States.
It's not very French. French cinema really focuses on reality. It's an industry that explores life. Fantasy films aren't in our culture like they are in America.
That was before taking into account French director Julia Ducournau's new film, Grave, winner of the grand prize of this 24th edition of the Gérardmer Festival. The story follows a charming and vegetarian Justine, who becomes a cannibal after an initiation session when she joins her new school. But be warned, this is not for the faint-hearted.
The scare factor about cannibalism is that you add a moral twist. So the question is, how does she tame this trend? And how does she learn to be human with it? So realizing I could kill, but I won't.
In between films, there are many workshops to attend, including the vital makeup sessions, which bring the supernatural alive. Cannibalism, zombies, psychological thrillers. During the 5-day festival, every genre satisfies. But one thing you shouldn't forget is that it is all fiction.
Her face was immortalised in the 1959 French classic Hiroshima, Mon Amour. French actress Emmanuelle Riva passed away this week, aged 89. Riva was the oldest actress to be nominated for an Academy Award in 2013 for her performance in Amour, a role that won her a BAFTA and a César for Best Actress. We take a look back at her career.
A golden statue for a queen of French cinema. At 85, Emmanuelle Riva clinched a César for Best Actress for her role in Amour.
It's not amour like in love or a love, it's just love. It's as if there was a third person standing there. To me, it's the name of a person.
Amour. In the Oscar-winning film by Michael Haneke, which also won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, she played an old woman who slowly loses her mind.
Mais tu fais quoi? Tu avais laissé l'eau couler.
Dis donc, qu'est-ce qui t'arrive? Tu es complètement folle? C'est une blague?
Pardon?
Amour crowned a career in dozens of plays and films, working with the creme of French stage and cinema. Anyone who's ever seen her in her breakthrough role in Alain Resnais's Hiroshima, Mon Amour in 1959 will never forget it. Riva portrayed a French woman making a film in Hiroshima who becomes involved with a Japanese man with whom she confides her Syrian experiences in World War II. Her beauty and finesse illuminated a difficult role.
It's never difficult, as long as you can embody your character.
After a 4-year battle with cancer, Riva passed away at 89. But her love for cinema lasted until the very end. Her final film, a comedy, Lost in Paris, will be released in cinemas this March.
Staying with cinema now, a new French documentary has received plaudits for its sensitive treatment of a very difficult subject. Elie Mistral Gagnon focuses on 3 young children living with debilitating and often fatal diseases. 2 little boys and 1 girl share their passions, their energy, and their struggles with conditions that curb their day-to-day lives. Director Anne-Dauphine Julien tells us about the lessons she learned from her young subjects.
I was expecting difficult, tough and scientific words to describe their diseases, but I wasn't expecting to hear children say things in such a clear and simple way, things that we as adults are afraid to say, like little Camille who told us, when I'm dead, I won't be ill anymore. I think that's what impressed me the most.
Te raconter enfin qu'il faut aimer la vie et l'aimer même aussi. Le temps est assassin et emporte avec lui les rires des enfants. Et les Mistral gagnants. Et les Mistral gagnants.
We're finishing the show with a meeting of music and celluloid now, courtesy of Iggy Pop and The Stooges. Gimme Danger is a new documentary from Jim Jarmusch. The film takes an in-depth look at this legendary punk rock outfit with a particular focus on its charismatic frontman. We'll leave you with a clip of the endlessly exuberant Iggy Pop in Gimme Danger. Remember to check out our website for more arts and culture, and you can also keep up with Encore on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
We bumbled around America, playing raggedly. Some gigs I could get it together to sing, some I couldn't, upsetting people wherever we went.
Thank you very much to the person who threw this glass bottle at my head. Nearly killed me, but you missed again. Keep trying next week.
Do you feel you've influenced anybody?
I think I helped wipe out the 60s.